Hello?
Hi, America. Welcome to Angel and the Wiz.
That's right. Okay? Well, we have to run the credit, and we'll be right back, okay?
Taken for granted, never ever wonder.
Tell me about Mackenzie. Mackenzie is one of our viewers. She watches our show. Hi,
Religiously.
Mackenzie. Hello, Zach. Hello, Gene O'Brien, who played the Next Day show. Hello, you guys. Hello, all you people that watch the show. Bless you. You have an excellent choice of taste. Been very, very nice. And be that as it may. So now, so she watched 26.
She's all about show 26.
26. She said you laughed at the end or something like that.
I did. I don't
know if you. I guess.
I'll be honest. I never watch the shows after we tape them.
Well, I mean, I can understand that because I watch them as I make them.
You watch them as you edit.
I have to,
but after they're up there, they're up there.
Right now, once in a while, I will go. I want to go see a specific thing, or somebody will say they saw something on the show, and I want to go back and look at it.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah, right. I did that. Sure. I thought it might be nice to talk about the good in America. What does it say down here? America.
America.
America is a great place, and I wanted to talk about some of the reasons. I will throw out one, and then you can throw out one if you want. Oh, I will throw one. What made America great was it was dedicated and based on the individual, not the group. Mm-hmm. It wasn't the commune, it wasn't the collective, it was on each man's individual skills and talents. And because we were turning those things loose, we got the benefit of their brains and stuff like that. I think Gallagher, just for footnote, I think the comedian Gallagher is one of the great satirists of our time. And Robin Williams gets a lot more coverage and a lot more money. But let me tell you something. Gallagher is one funny guy, and his view of life, he is very, very funny. So I just want to just throw that out.
I was thinking that the American Adventure show at Epcot.
Yes.
If you guys have ever been to Disney World, I recommend going to Disney World. Go to Epcot. At the America Pavilion, They have this show called The American Adventure.
Right.
And I think it pretty much nails the greatness of our country on the head. Okay. It says, it's not, some of these things that you see in theme parks or whatever is all about all the great things that America has done. But what I like about that particular show is it also shows the mistakes that we have made as a country and the hardships that we've had and how we've learned from them.
And overcome them.
Yeah, and I think that that's pretty powerful, too.
Well,
that we don't just wallow in our own self-pity and...
Well, and then,
oh, woe is me. Oh, we're in debt.
Yeah, well, we have to do something about that.
We have a Great Depression again. Woe is me. We fixed it.
Well,
woe is us. They bombed our country.
Yeah. And each and every time one of those things happened, we have come back. But the only reason we've been able to come back is because we have let the individual lead. And I guess I'm not trying to be modern or anything, but it's just that's really, really important. I don't want to see us lose that.
No.
That's probably
don't want our spirit to diminish.
And I don't want to, and I'm not going to go political, but that's why. That's one of the reasons why I like Sarah Palin, because she is one of us. She is, an individual, and neither side likes her. The elite, that political class that's out there that just, we'll take care of this for you. You just go do your thing. It'll be a Republican or a Democrat, and we'll handle it, okay? And if we have any problems, don't worry, we won't call you. We'll just bury it down a little bit further. Excuse me. So that's one of the reasons that I got off on it. Okay, so where else do we go if we want to talk?
I think America is a beautiful country as well.
Pardon me.
There's so much beauty just, there's so much just beauty around. And maybe it's just me being weird, but aside from the natural landscapes and the national parks and stuff, I was driving into work, and to see the sunrise, I have to drive east.
Yes, that's right.
And just to watch the sun rise as I'm driving to work, and to see like just how the way the sun crests over not the horizon but over like this overpass, and to see that I think that sometimes it's so beautiful that we have gorgeous cities, we have gorgeous land, I think that we fail to stop and smell the roses.
Maybe to appreciate. Oh yeah, now here.
To appreciate the beauty that still exists.
Now and all the purists out there, and which we're having a problem with. I mean, the people at the EPA, excuse me, the environmental wackos. Some of these people.
Some of them have a right idea, though.
But but the problem is, it has to be based with balance,
right,
with other things. They do not exist on their own. They cannot just. But the reason I bring it up is because I live, New York City is, just drive down 7th Avenue and see all the lights.
Right.
Okay, well, I love that stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, excuse me. When I go to Disney World, I go down the road 192, and it's like a carnival. It's got lights in every possible fast food restaurant,
right,
and every store and every.
But to find the beauty in that,
right,
I bet if you were to go right as the sun was setting,
right,
where it was that dusk, and there's still enough light to see, but they're starting to turn all of their street lights on, and you
right,
see that glow. I bet that's pretty.
Well,
because I find beauty in that. I'll be driving, even when I'm visiting my parents in Chicago and stuff, and you see the sun starting to set. You just to look at the city starting to light up for the night activities.
Right.
It's it's like we've just worked all day. Now we're taking a short break as we prepare for the events of the night.
Right.
And I think that moment of like there's this peacefulness in that moment of rest between the day and the night.
You know what's funny too? You might never think about this, even in the hustle and bustle of New York. But pardon me, the downtown area, Wall Street and all that stuff down there. Well, there's nobody there on Sunday.
Yes, I've been there on a Sunday when there's nobody, because there's a museum near there. I don't know what museum it is. It's the American Indian Museum or something.
Okay.
Something weird like that.
There's probably maritime stuff down there too, down by Battery Park. And
but there was some weird down there. But I was in, that's Manhattan, right?
Yes, ma'am.
On a Sunday, and it was like
you could hear
nobody.
Pin drop.
Yeah.
Yes. And we used to take our
silence.
bicycles right down there too when I rode my bicycle more, and you could just go down there, man. And you could ride any place. There was no cars to worry about because there was nobody there. I mean, it's like, and it's just, it's not eerie so much, but it's
peaceful.
It's beautiful. It's religious. You know what I mean? It's spiritual. It's a better word. Okay. It's just really cool. And here it is. It's a city. And we get so wrapped up with, trees and trees. Listen. I'm all for that. I love nature too, but there's good and bad. I mean, there's good a lot of different places. Anyway, so and that's.
I was just talking to somebody the other day. We were working a football game concession stand, and we have to get there to prepare the concession stand. So all we have is a couple of the players throwing, having a quick game of catch on the field.
Right, limbering up.
But then what you see is, the administration's going around putting signs up, and there's no crowds, there's no students. It's just, aside from the couple home team players, it's just all these adults doing their own thing, and there's a peacefulness, a quietness that's in the stadium, on the field. You're just, and I told her, I said, let's just stand here for a moment and soak this in. And she goes, what? I said, just listen. She goes, I don't hear anything. I said, that's the point.
That's it.
I said, you don't hear anything. It's calm. it's the calm before the storm, because I'll tell you, when those gates open and those people walk in and they're going to want their hot dogs and hamburgers and their pizza, it's all hell's going to break loose.
Right.
And you're not going to have a moment to stop until we have to close the lines because we run out of food.
Right.
And she's like, really? I said, yeah, absolutely. And so we just sat there. It's like we said a little silent prayer, you know, please let us survive the night and have
Right.
enough food to last the third quarter. You know, it's kind of what we did.
Yeah,
And
but
that was
see,
it.
and it's funny, as a footnote for you folks, wherever you were watching this show, the next time if you get a chance and you're interested in such a thing, there are a lot of places that you can go to when they're not active. Even malls. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
You
there
can
are.
walk around a mall
Yeah,
in the morning.
There are and places. It can be fun. It can be really. It can be relaxing. Actually, you know what I mean. It can be.
Maybe
you know.
that's why I'm not really a morning person, but I don't mind waking up early.
Okay.
I'm not always a fan of it, but I don't mind doing it because
Right.
there's a calmness to the morning before everybody else gets up.
Well,
Before the world wakes up, I'm
Yeah.
there. It's like I'm there first.
You know, anyway, I like those kind of things. Pardon me. So where else should we go? You know, if I want to talk about greatness in America. We talked about individuality. We talked, you know something, and just as a quick footnote, this right here that you're looking at, Access, if you're watching us on Channel 2, this was the original social network. And this is where it all started. It all grew out of this. People preparing tapes or doing live shows so they could communicate with their other neighbors in and around the area. And look how it's blown up. I mean, wow, you know. Pardon me. And that's
Who would have known your
freedom.
idea spawned into Facebook?
Well, Princess, I can't take credit for the idea. I was just a person that used Access.
That used it,
But
yeah.
I used it. I was always, that's funny, that was always one of my talents, was applications. In other words, using things, okay? Applying it, that's the word I was looking for, applying it. I was not I wasn't an innate creator, although I have been creative. But boy, I could find the right use for something. You know what I mean? I could get, you know, things out of it. So anyway, and
I think our education is pretty great. You know, like everyone's always frustrated about education,
Okay.
but we are the only country, I think we're the only country in the world that says anybody can get an education. We will educate you for free, no questions asked. You can walk into our school
right,
and get a high school diploma.
okay.
And I think that that's
Pardon me.
I think that that's a pretty great thing about America.
Okay.
That we don't care about what color your skin is, how much money you make,
Right.
where you live, or what you did before.
Right.
As long as you want to learn, we will provide for you. Provide that education for you.
And why is that so important? Unless I know I got the other week ago, whenever I got off on Obama and the things that he didn't do, and that's one of the things that he didn't do, what he could have done, and even especially in education, because you know there's so many. And now listen, let's talk. Just this is like a divergent thing, but you know about this, so I can ask you this question when we talk about education.
That always scares me when you say you know about this.
But you do know about it.
Okay.
Okay, now it seems
hope.
to me that the idea of charter schools is good. No?
Yes and no.
Okay. Okay, well,
Charter schools are, for me, a new idea. I've never really been around them a whole lot.
Okay.
They've never really impacted me, so I actually
Okay.
don't know a lot about them.
okay.
What I do know is then it becomes like parents can apply to have their students placed in charter schools. They don't have to follow some of the same regiment or standards, but they do at the same time.
Okay.
And, it's like a public school idea with private funding.
Okay. Because they seem to have...
Charter schools are good for when you're focusing on an arts-based
okay.
program. So if you want students to develop in dance or theater or media arts or graphic
Okay.
arts or instrumental arts, that's when charter schools are a better idea, because the students will still get their four core courses of math,
Right.
English, social studies, and science.
Right.
And but they have to maintain a specific GPA, and then usually their other elective courses are going to be these arts-based courses.
You know, well, and so that's one of the reasons, and one of the things I like about it is it seems like they seem to be, and maybe it's because the governments are not in it, because we talked last week about the lack of emotion when the government's involved. But because it seems like the kids are more motivated to learn in the charter schools.
Right. But it's, like I said, it's like a private school with government funding.
Right.
And then what happens is in a public school, the government says, here's the money, here's what you have to do with it.
Right.
In the charter school, they say, here's the money, here's what you have to do with some of it, and the rest of it is kind of...
You can free to use.
Right.
See, they have more freedom.
Which is okay
right.
in some aspects, but it sometimes gives...
because I would think it'd be great for the teachers, too.
The money doesn't always go to teacher salaries.
Well, no, but I just meant it might be... I would think it would be a nice place to teach. You would have a little bit more freedom, a little bit more...
Like I said, I don't really know. Here's the other thing. Under the No Child Left Behind Act of 2002 or 1 or whatever
it was,
every student in a private or public school is required to take a high-stakes standardized test in reading and math.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
So even if the teachers have that freedom to whatever,
they still gotta pass the
their
test.
students still have to pass the high-stakes standardized test that's given at 10th grade.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean? Which has to be based on specific state standards.
Right.
So whatever state they're teaching in, they have to teach to those state standards anyway.
Okay.
So it's not like you're losing a lot of freedom.
Okay.
It's not like you have a lot of freedom.
But that was the next thing I was going to go to. I think that is, and it's just funny too, do you know what I mean? Because we live at a time now where people, especially young people, who know so little but think they know so much because they know a little.
Oh, yeah.
They look around and they watch the news or they go on the internet and they see other things. They really think that the rest of the world has the freedom that they have here.
And it doesn't.
And it does not. That is my personal opinion. That is the greatest thing about America. Individual freedom. And it doesn't exist anywhere else.
Right.
But here. And I don't think, I think
that what I like too is that I hope that we as a country don't think that we're the greatest thing in the world. I hope that, people say, yeah, we have our individual freedoms, and yeah, that comes with a price.
Sure, responsibility.
Yeah, and responsibility, and if we don't use our freedoms responsibly, there are consequences.
Sure.
Probably not as severe as if you broke the law in Venezuela,
right.
There's still consequences to those actions.
And something that we said before that I wanted to just...
The immortal words of my principal, make good choices every day.
Yeah, okay.
My principles. So she says every day in the announcements, make good choices every day.
Make good choices. And it's tough, too. And it's tough to educate kids because of what they see, they think. It's what I can't say, and what I can't get over. I do not understand, and maybe it's because they keep a lid on the places, how these Middle Eastern countries have been able to subjugate the whole female race. I don't know. That's why I don't worry about it here, because it ain't going to happen, baby.
No.
Women are never going to be. Our women, American women, they don't take that nonsense from anybody.
You just gotta piss off. I'm sorry.
That's perfectly
You piss off the wrong black lady, and you're in trouble. No,
okay.
I'm telling you, because they got some powerful words, and
I mean, and that's why I don't understand how in the Middle East they keep these women. Women aren't allowed to drive in some countries. What is that? Why are we promoting that over there? Why are we trying to endorse that?
I don't think that as a country we're promoting it or endorsing it, but what I know about humanity is when there's change, it creates anxiety.
Sure.
Anxiety will create fear, and fear will turn into hatred.
Right.
So when that change is not initiated by the individual, there tends to be this flow of emotion. So if we go into these Middle Eastern countries who have had set rituals and routines for hundreds and thousands of years, ain't no way we're going to change this because
Not
everybody's
overnight.
everybody's going to hate it. I think it's a small process, and I think that some of the Middle Eastern countries who are having protests and
Right.
things like that, I think that that's huge. And I'm not saying that the United States had any part in that, but
Right.
I would.
It's also mostly all guys.
Right, but right, they are, because the women are smart and getting.
No,
you
not
know,
just that. I don't
but-
think they were allowed. I don't
Well,
understand
they
how
might
they
not
could
be
put
allowed.
up with that.
They might not be allowed, but I think that even have those men protesting is a step in the right direction to individual freedom.
Well,
Do you know what I mean? And
If
I
it
think
turns
that,
out right.
Right, and I think that
That's the dangerous part.
that the United States had some influence in that. I don't think that they said, "Hey, go and." Do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
they have
believe
to
me,
get
I
that
do
idea
know
from
exactly
somewhere.
what you mean. I lived through the 60s, and we know all about people working behind the scenes, covertly, to have things change.
It's strange.
And listen, you got to keep in mind that when you've seen all of this stuff, and you've watched it be done, you watch. And
I believe it.
This is a great example. People decided that John Kennedy had to die. They knew they couldn't beat him at the polls. They wanted to get him out of office, and they killed him. Okay? Now, there's a couple of things that follow from that. You can't kill the President of the United States unless you can control the investigation, because the FBI can find you if you steal a loaf of bread.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So you gotta have some way to control the
Right.
investigation. Okay? So that was the first tip-off to America that the people that did this job were inside, but because most of them had a lot of experience with the law, they understood, and the people that carried out this. So you got to look at it this way: you had people that carried out the work. You had people that carried out the cover-up. You had people that did the planning. You had different stages, different levels. Let me just finish this one thing.
Okay.
And what they understood was that if A shoots B and is subsequently killed by the police or return fire, there is no investigation. The case is closed. Okay? It's a dead loop. That's why the plan always provided a sponsor. Lee Harvey Oswald's role in all of this, unknowns to him, was to be the dead perpetrator. And when he didn't die inside the dark of the Texas School Book Depository, they had a problem. Because all the evidence was designed for a dead man who would not contradict the evidence. No, all the evidence was for a guy that was Russian. He was proud of what he did, and he did it because he was he's an anti-Castro Cuban, and he was a Castro. Okay, and all that, not anti-Castro, but he, you know what I mean, and he was for Fidel, and he was a Marxist and all this stuff. He stood there with the paper and the gun and all that stuff. And the first words out of Lee Harvey Oswald's mouth was, "I didn't shoot anybody. I didn't want to have, and if you look at the things that he says, he's trying, and they got pictures of him. He says, I know how those pictures were made. I used to work, and see, and so they were very aware of the situation that they had,
Right,
and they
had to
did
fix
what
it.
they had to do. And the point that I'm trying to make is, once you saw that happen, and then you just looked behind it a little bit, you saw how it had been done, excuse me, in this country a few years earlier, and in this country a few years before that. So we've done that kind of stuff.
So America is great. We have beautiful landscapes and
Yes, we do.
architecture, and
even cities can be beautiful.
Yeah, and we have a great, proud education system because we
Right.
offer free education to all, and we know how to cover up national scandals.
Yeah, but we did a lousy job. Okay, and then the
I
thing.
was just summing up our
No, very good.
greatness
Oh,
of
the
America.
greatness. Well, that's good. I was about to, and
Yeah.
it's also nice to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge, but
I have not done that. I've driven
and that
across
is,
it.
yeah, but it's, and then of course, like with any place in New York, you always have to be. I always tell my friends when they come to visit New York, remember that New York can change block by block. Okay? In other words, you can be safe here and not be safe here.
Oh, I know.
That's
Chicago's
why
the same way.
there's no eye contact in New York, because if you make eye contact with somebody, they can talk to you. And once that door is open, that's why nobody looks at anybody in New York. That's why, because if I have eye contact with you, I let you in. I'm not going to let you in. But we're talking about the great things and stuff like that. And the innovations. Pardon me, I'm so sorry. I need more soda. The individuality also allowed for so many innovations and so many. And the other thing that we talked about, and I didn't get back to this, is when there is a problem anywhere in the world, who do they call? Ghostbusters. They call America. And there's never a time that they go someplace else. They come to us. And I'm very proud of that. When Obama went around the country, around the world, apologizing for America, that was like, not only did that hurt us and our country, it hurt those people because they didn't want to hear us apologize. Even if they were giving us razzes, they still knew if they needed us, we were there. Okay? And you look around the world, you see, then people complain, oh, you're Americanizing every place. No, we're not Americanizing it. You are.
You keep asking for our help.
You wear the clothes that we wear, you play the music that we play, you do the... We're not forcing you to do any of this. You're doing it because the reason we're doing it, because it's good music, or it's good clothes, or it's comfortable, or it's nice. People wanted to be... The Mexicans that are coming across the border are not coming here to be Mexicans. They're coming here because they want the American dream. And I mean, they got to shut the border. That's something they've got to do because it's a security risk more than anything else. You got to shut the border down and let these people come in properly.
Right.
Make a proper way for them, because when the immigrants that came here years ago, they came here the right way. They did it. They paid their dues. They did everything that they had to do. And we've talked about instant gratification and how the government screwed all that up by everybody has the same is entitled to the same stuff. No, they're entitled to the same opportunity. They're not entitled to the same outcome. That's the problem.
Right.
And that's a serious thing. Excuse me. Uh-oh. America's great because they allow us to come into these people's home every week.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very, very kind. Do something.
Do something good every day.
And it could be a little thing.
Volunteer at your local animal shelter.
It don't have to be a big
love.
thing. The idea is to do something.
The idea.
Even a teeny little, what did I say?
Idea.
Idea.
The idea is to do something.
The idea is
pay it forward.
Is to do something, even if it's a teensy, itsy, little bitty thing.
And say thank you to those who have done something good for you.
What did we talk about last week?
You need to be grateful.
Excuse me. Courtesy is the key that opens the door of opportunity. Charlie Chan said that.
Bye.
Bye.